I think we can all agree that driving a BMW is the best part of owning a BMW. The worst part is the cost and the expense. But I'm going to share with you how I've managed to own 5 different BMWs in my life and managed to keep it affordable. Let's get into it now. So owning a BMW is always a bit of an adventure, whether you're out for that great drive or you're just trying to fix it because it's leaking oil, like you see down here, coolant, lots of coolant potential leaks in these cars, radiator necks, fittings, thermostats, water pumps, lots of parts that will crack, break because they're brittle and they're all made of plastic. You just got to be able to get ahead of that, and you got to be able to troubleshoot these cars. That's how you can make it affordable to own a BMW, a used BMW out of warranty, because that's the big question. In warranty, that's easy. You drive it into the shop, they fix it, but out of warranty is the big question. And here's some of the tricks that I can share with you guys as to how I was able to afford it. So let's get looking under the engine. So I experienced many years ago how much better BMWs are to drive than many other brands out there, and that's why I've been sort of gravitating to the brand. But I've also had to learn how to fix these cars because owning 1, 2, 3 at a time, you've often realized that there are things that are constantly in need of attention, whether it's broken, a check engine light, or some other issues. So I've quickly had to familiarize myself with forums that is going to help you save money. Why? Because even if you're not a massive do-it-yourselfer, forums are going to help you troubleshoot. Go through some of the obvious. Oh, I've got this leak. The forums will tell you, well, most likely it's probably here. Take a look into this piece. Often you're going to see issues related that are common that you're having to what other people are experiencing. Helps you troubleshoot. If you're a little bit handy, you can do a lot of that little stuff yourself. It doesn't mean you have to rebuild engines. It just means that stay in touch with some of those groups and the Facebook pages, on some of the forums. They're going to help you a lot. If you've got a leak, you can troubleshoot that. If you've got a weird engine sound, you can bring that up to the group. And for the most part, people will likely have experienced that somewhere along the way, and you can learn from that and actually take that to your own vehicle. You just basically type in, there's forums for virtually every type of vehicle in the BMW world, whether it be a diesel like we have here, a 35D, E70 X5, or whether you have a 335 with the N54, or maybe an E60 M5. They all have their little niche groups that can all help you along. So you've got to learn the networking side of it. The next thing you've really got to learn is how to get the parts, because if you're a do-it-yourselfer, you're going to want to learn. Don't buy from the dealer. They're going to basically bend you over. Napa here in Canada, Canadian Tire, rarely, but a lot of times you just go to the places FCP Euro. That's the first go-to. If you're not in a rush, often they can get you parts within fairly short notice, but FCP Euro has all of the parts. You type in the year, the make, the model of your car, you select to scroll down, you can quickly discover the part, and you can find that those parts are usually a half, 2/3, 3/4 the price of what you would get them for at the dealer. And you can save a lot of money, and that's how I've often done that. Whether I've saved it through FCP Euro or bought it from other wholesalers. And often if you just have a great backdoor mechanic that's able to hook you up with some of these parts through their own little network, it's going to keep a lot of money in your pocket. So the next thing you're going to want to have is a way to troubleshoot your car. Yes, you don't need that big $12,000 piece of BMW test equipment. And don't worry about what the dealers are telling you. In most cases, most faults are able to be fairly accurately diagnosed by pulling the code, then compare it to a Google search, and you'll find all kinds of information, and almost 9 times out of 10 gives you the accurate diagnosis. Now, yes, it's not bang on, and I know I'll have a lot of armchair mechanics out there that'll tell me that that's not right at all. You've got to spend all this money, and you have all these faults, and it's far more complex than that, than just saying the code. We know that sometimes there's one problem that creates another problem. I know that, I get it. But I'll tell you this much right now, 80 to 90% of the faults I've ever experienced were diagnosed through a crappy little code reader, and then comparing that P code to a Google search, and it's giving me exactly. I've changed the part, lo and behold, the problem has gone away. So I've had a lot of success. Sure, there's vacuum leaks and there's other little one-offs that can cause you problems, and sometimes the code readers won't give you the full diagnosis, but honestly, it'll get you down the road. And not only that, if it's something that's out of your scope, maybe it's some weird sensor and you can't get to it, you don't have the tools, or you don't have the know-how, or you can't access it, and you just said, the hell with it, I'm going to take it to the dealer, that's fine. But at least you know what to look for. And if the dealer's trying to pull a fast one over on you, at least you have a quick idea as to what to expect or anticipate, possibly for the parts. You might even be able to do a search on your forums and tell you what sort of labor to be expected on that type of repair. So when you go into the dealer, you're not going to be like that. You can actually get the part replaced and repaired appropriately and challenge them, because often, yeah, they're trying to do the right thing, but there are a lot of shady shops out there as well. And you just want to do what's best for you and save the dollars and keep the dollars in your pocket, because after all, times are tough. We all need to keep the money in our pocket and spend it on better places, right? But we still like driving these cars because life's too short to drive boring cars. So there's great little apps, for example, like iCarly, and you buy their little dongle. But there's lots of other great ones with free apps, and you get these low-cost dongles. Let me show you what I have. I use this great little device. It's by VPeak. Comes in this wonderful little case. So before you get started, you want to install this app. It's called Car Scanner. Beautiful. Car Scanner, you can have lots of capability. You can do read live data for your oxygen, turbo pressures, all of that good stuff, as well as reset engine codes. So this is a great thing. Install this first, and then what you need to do, take this great little VPeak device, which I have, and the link is down below if you're interested, down in the description section. This is the VPeak OBD Check BLE Plus. Great little device. So the first thing you want to do, you've got the app, you've got the device. Now what you need to do is install this into the OBD port. Plug that in down here. Then you can either turn the ignition on partially or start the vehicle. I'm going to start the vehicle because I'm going to look for live data. So then what you want to do, device is in there. Now you want to start this. And then it tells you you've got to turn your Bluetooth on. Okay, hit settings. I'll turn that on. Hit OK. You're accepting all the good fine print. Now you hit connect, and then you'll notice it says connecting the VPeak adapter. Successful connection, and then there we go. Now it says disconnect if we want. So we know we're connected because now it says disconnect. Now we can pull the info up and we can look at, for example, live data. Now you can see all these different factors. You want to see module voltages, engine coolant temp, engine RPM, vehicle speed, intake air temp, mass airflow, throttle position. You can see all of these factors. We'll look at engine RPM as an example. Okay, now you can see it idling along. Now we're going to touch the throttle down here, and then you can see this change. How is that for live data? Now, not only that, we can now get out sensors, and we can get back to the scanner, and we can say, do we have any diagnostic or trouble codes right here? So you can click on that. So you can hit start, and then it'll read if you have any engine codes outstanding. And what this just does is allows you to understand what's going on with your vehicle. This helps you actually troubleshoot your vehicle and its poor running condition. So these great little devices have helped me troubleshoot issues with frozen DEF fluid because it wasn't working, the heater was faulty. So it's told me that, and I was able to troubleshoot and get it repaired accordingly. I was able also to reset a fault code related to a turbo stall out, which fortunately was temporary, but it sure beat $250 charge at the dealer. I was able to replace a shuttle valve on the intake manifold that had faulted out eventually on this diesel. So it kind of gave me that code. Through some troubleshooting, I was able to replace that, and it made the trouble go away. I was also able to identify issues with vacuum leaks, which I was able to get to the bottom of. It helped me get through a lot of different problems, some of which I was able to fix on my own. And other things, for example, the preheat on my diesel, it's not something I want to tackle, but at least I knew what it was, and going into it, at least I have an idea of what it was, and I was able to chase around for some quotes from the dealers, and then I was able to save a few bucks that way too, because different dealers had different estimates, and so it saved me a few dollars there too, and I went to lower price dealer with that regard too. So it can help you save money, and it saved a pile of money for me. So that's where you really got to learn. Get your diagnostic equipment, maybe learn to do a few things yourself, get the networks going with some of the online media, and as well get your part sources and suppliers in order. For example, FCP Euro is a great source. That's going to save you a ton of money and help you able to drive one of these cars with a moderate income. So you don't have to be that rich guy on 6 figures just to maintain a BMW. You don't need to be that person. Anyway, that's the bottom line. With all of that said, guys, I bet you want to know the most reliable BMWs. Check it out right there. You're going to love that video, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Catch you real soon. Bye-bye.